quickly going to Ambassador Basudev Mukherjee and this mega occasion that we are celebrating today, and those beautiful visuals of the inside of the dome, which have been carved painstakingly. It has taken years together. 2018 is when the land was provided for the building of the temple. It's 2024 now, so it has taken as many years for the building of this beautiful, majestic temple. And how does it feel for you as a Hindu, as an Indian?
As an Indian first, and as a Hindu also, I have a feeling of elation, because I remember that in the past, in many countries, we were not given permission to build even a small temple, which was intended for the Indian diaspora. And I'm just thinking of how much the world has changed, that today in the United Arab Emirates, we have such a beautiful temple. I quite agree with you, both exterior and interior, and a very proud moment in the relationship between UAE and India. And I'm just thinking of how elated all the Indians who live in UAE must be feeling, that they have this wonderful temple where they can go at will, meditate, be at peace with themselves, celebrate their festivals, and all this with the full blessings of the people of that country and the rulers. So truly a great moment also in the global recognition of India and of Hinduism as a religion that brings only peace and tolerance, and is actually an example for other religions, that we have never been a conquering religion, we have never sought to convert, we live in peace, we have our philosophy, and this is something that is now being increasingly acknowledged in parts of the world where such a development would not have been visualized, Megha, let's say 25 years ago. So indeed, a very proud moment for India and for Hindus and for Hinduism.
Ambassador Mukherjee, moving forward from what the temple inauguration signifies for Indians and Hindus across the globe, it is also a very strategic shift in how the world, and particularly how the Middle East, views India and Hinduism.
But absolutely, when you think of what kind of relationship we used to have within the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Conference, let's say 30 years ago, and what kind of relationship we have now, it is absolutely a contrast in attitudes, that now we have a situation where we are in a position where we can actually feel proud. We are part of the mainstream. People consult us. Our Prime Minister is an honored guest in OIC meetings, etc. So we've come a very, very long way also in international recognition of the important role that India plays on such matters. So yes, a very proud moment again, and a transformative moment, if I may say, for Indian diplomacy.
Major General Sudhakar ji, quickly a response from you about how this is going to be a massive shift in how Hinduism is viewed as across the globe, and particularly in the Middle East, where there are the forward-looking, the moderate Arab nations who have finally taken cognizance of the fact about Hinduism, and all this has not happened in a vacuum. This is not just a question of inclusivity, in unity, in diversity, in lessons of tolerance, but it's got more to do with how India has projected itself on the global stage.
Megha, good evening. Thank you for inviting me to your show. Excellent question. Few days back, I was talking to a medical specialist from Afghanistan, a lady who's a Sunni Muslim. He has converted to Sanatan Dharma, migrated to USA, settled earlier in California, now in DC, Washington. So while talking to her, we got discussing about Sanatan Dharma. The lady corrected me because of my ignorance. She said, "No, General, what you are saying is not the definition of Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma has got no beginning, it has got no end. It is an eternal religion. there is every religion in the world which is entitled or can form part of Sanatan Dharma. My eyes were popping. I didn't know. So what I'm trying to say is that this temple is not to be seen as a temple. Temple has become an epicenter of love, peace, and harmony in a place which is actually being claimed or so far has got the entitlement of becoming an epicenter of terrorism. The violence has been coming across the border. In a situation like this, you name a terrorist organization, it is here. Dubai or the UAE used to be right under the thumb and control of ISI from 60s to 80s. Name any goon, he used to be there in Dubai. There used to be all ruffians there. All kinds of anti-law activity used to take place in Dubai. But look at Dubai and the UAE, complete sea change. I have been myself a president of a multinational company in Oman. I visited these places. The wave of change is actually transforming the entire Arabic nation. Mind you, in 2023, one of the international agencies, it had brought out a figure that out of total population of 31 crores in the Middle East, 15 crores had taken Bhagavad Gita online. This is the kind of change which is taking place. The countries are diversifying not only the industrial capacity and the variety to labor intensive to productive ventures, but also the liberalism is actually taking good shape in a progressive and forward-looking modern life, wherein the lifestyle and the quality of life of the citizens can be improved, and the tolerance. Some of the nation states in Middle East, they have a ministry by the name of Minister of Tolerance. So it goes to say that, and mind you, UAE is also the epicenter of the Islamic religion. Saudi Arabia and UAE. When we talk about that, we understand the meaning of Quran. This religion does not permit worshipping of any deity. I myself, I have been checked about a couple of years back, maybe 25 years back while traveling. I have been checked, my suitcase had an image or a picture of a goddesses which I worship. It was not allowed to be carried. So today, the same country is actually given us permission to construct a temple and also propagate the vibes of the peace and harmony. And it has got a strategic, I would say, our Honorable Prime Minister has got a very, very visionary, strategic thought process in his mind. With one stroke, we are able to touch so many things. Today, the global geopolitics is polarized. Everyone is divided, talking about and fighting for the entitlement of its national interest. Here is a move by our Honorable Prime Minister which is going to bind everyone, one earth, one family, one future. And this is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is being epitomized by this temple, which is actually become a kind of a launch pad for peace and harmony to galvanize the entire global order. Back to you, Megha.
That took a clear response from you as well. Now, what is the road ahead? Where do we see India and Hindus and Hindutva here on?
No, Megha, it's a very complex question. But first of all, again, congratulations to everyone for this momentous occasion. See, let me tell you one important thing to observe and understand. Today, the world is recognizing the enormous repository of culture that India is. The respect that you find in Middle East and elsewhere in the world is also because today you have a government which recognizes the heritage and the richness of our culture. For a long time, since 1947, we had dispensations in this country which were extremely embarrassed about India. So if you were embarrassed about India, if you were apologetic about India's past, you don't expect the rest of the world to understand and embrace its richness. Today, the last 10 years, I think the Prime Minister has been one of the most profound ambassadors of India's culture, heritage, civilizational ethos, everything combined. So I think where it goes from here onward, I think the world will continue to be in chaos. It is not that India would try to impose anything. One of the most important reasons why there is respect for India across is that in spite of being the fifth largest economy and a reasonable military power, or when we give anything to anybody, we don't tell that country tomorrow when you wake up, either you are on my side or you are against us. We don't do that. So I don't think in one day things are going to change. But as the complexities of conflicts across the world keep on deepening, there will be different kinds of crises. I think people will gradually find more solace in the whole concept of Sanatana Dharma, which talks about Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, because it embraces the diversity. In today's world, if you have to exist, you need to respect the other country, you need to respect the other concepts, other views. And that is why the Prime Minister, when he says Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world as one family, when he talks about that war should be the last resort, these are setting examples of Sanatan Dharma and its ethos. As I stated earlier, whether it was Ramayana or Mahabharata, in both the occasions, war was the last resort. Lord Krishna went to Duryodhana and asked for only 5 villages for peace. Before the war with Ravan in Lanka, Lord Ram had sent Hanuman and then Angad to actually, be ambassadors of peace, but they were denied, and then war was the last resort. I think today's world, if you have to have peace, you need to embrace this philosophy of diversity, respecting diversity, and having conflict as the last resort, and, dehyphenating relationships. Just because I am your friend does not mean that your enemy has to be my enemy. You can have good relations with different countries. You can go ahead. You can have economic prosperity without, targeting anybody. The whole concept of some of the Western countries that you can only grow if you can trigger conflicts and then you can sell defense items. That has to change, Megha. That fundamentally has to change. And I think India has been one of the best ambassadors in this respect as a country which has never invaded any other country, which has never tried to flaunt its military might. That is one. Secondly, economically also, what we did during the COVID crisis, giving vaccines free of cost, something which many of the Western countries were not happy. They thought that the market is being dismantled, the market is being destroyed. So market, profitability, profit at the cost of others, this concept has to go. Yes, as an organization, as a business organization, you must survive, to sustain, to continue, but not at the cost of somebody else's lives. So the whole Western philosophy of economics will gradually change. It's not going to happen in one day. It is not that suddenly India will replace United States or others, but actually, I think people will realize that it is not about geographical India, but the idea of India, that you can coexist, you can have peaceful prosperity for everybody. You can create a better world without pointing fingers, killing somebody else, destroying another country. I think the whole concept of reforms in multilateral institutions that Prime Minister talks about, including African Union in G20, talking against unilateral sanctions by the West, which creates major problems for smaller economies who have gone bankrupt, or having, vaccine diplomacy in terms of giving vaccines free of cost, having generic drugs, or the kind of direct benefit transfer, to the templates that he has created in terms of creating micro entrepreneurs, because industrial automation is going to restrict the number of jobs that the organized sector will create. These are great examples. I think many of these Middle East is going to embrace, UPI being one of that was done yesterday.
And an example, yes, absolutely. The RuPay payment system that is soon going to be launched in Dubai as well, in UAE as well. Quickly, actually listening into this, a number of people who are reacting to the inauguration of the temple. Let's quickly listen in, and also I'll look at the interiors. What all does the temple encompass?
Chair, table, and bench has been recycled from the wooden crates that has brought the Mandir stones to the UAE. In the Mandir, as you ascend the steps, there are 96 bells which symbolize the 96 years which Pramukh Swami Maharaj lived on this earth. As we walk to the Mandir, the sounds of these bells remind us of the life he lived in service for others, for humanity, and for harmony. In this mandir, there are 3 rivers brought from the 3 most holiest rivers of India, Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. These rivers embrace the mandir, and out of that nexus of energy, this mandir rises to be the spiritual oasis for global harmony. Children from around the UAE and the world have come together with their small hands and even bigger hearts to paint motivational messages on hundreds of stones, transforming them from stones into tiny treasures, which will inspire this generation and the next to live a more value-based life.
We have used heat resistance nano tiles and heavy glass panels, merging both with the traditional aesthetic stone structure with the modern day functionality. Every steps from advanced material to overcoming timeline exemplifies team dedication.
3 kilometers of water features carrying 130,000 gallons of water enter the complex from the eastern boundary and flows all the way to the western boundary.
The installation of MEP and ELV systems is completed. Presently, we are in the state of testing and commissioning of the equipment and obtaining the authority approvals. We have already installed around 1,500 kilometers of cables and wires, 20,000 square meters of...
This is thousands of years of culture and human creativity and human wisdom and human faith, which is encapsulated in the expression of a temple. The real change is when different cultures deal with each other more respectfully, more equally, more fairly. And for me, that is an important expression of that, what we call rebalancing. I would take an enormous amount of, for me, a personal fulfillment at seeing this.
It's really piece of art. And this is a place of worship, whereas the whole people who are in the UAE will come and pray. Opening this temple in Abu Dhabi, people coming from all around the world to see the story which has been crafted on the building from different culture, from different country stories. It gives you that feeling of harmony and peaceful.
I have to say that this is the symbol of harmony that will stand the test of time for thousands of years into the future. This is the place for humanity.
A place of wonderful craftsmanship.
This is actually once in a millennia.
It's a temple of humanity.
Global symbol of harmony of different cultures, communities coming together, and it's a symbol of faith.
So ये generations को inspire करने वाला मंदिर है.
It's just one word. It's just beautiful. Beautiful.
I think this is not just a structure, but a testament to peace, to tolerance, togetherness, harmony, celebration of so many cultures. It is a testament to the preservation of true Hindu values. Stories that my grandmother told me are coming alive through the carvings across the temple in such beauty. I believe that this is the true legacy that we will leave behind for our children and their children to follow. One day, like people travel from all over the world to all the beautiful temples of the world, I'm sure they will come and travel here to see this jewel emerging in the desert, shining so beautifully as a beacon of peace. And where there is peace, there is prosperity, there is love. If I had to symbolize in stone what would love look like, then I think this is the ultimate symbol. When I travel around the temple with my son and he gets to see stories from the Ramayana, from the Upanishads, from Arabic culture, from English culture, fables, folklore, with great moral values, all the way from Bharat to a tribe of Eskimos. Even they have some beauty to share. Even they have some beautiful lessons that our children can benefit from. Because truly, when they come here, they become children of the world. They have received as a blessing from all these ancient tales carved in stone to be remembered forever.
Okay, so
This temple features 8 murtis that are 8 feet long, representing 8 values that this mandir is founded upon: purity, charity, peace, knowledge, faith, compassion, truth, and unity. And these values are what the mandir is founded upon, which will help civilizations, countries, and cultures come together and prosper.
As we welcome His Holiness Mahan Swami Maharaj, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Bhai Modi, and His Excellency Shri Nayan Mubarak Al Nayan. Let us all rise, give them a round of applause and a warm welcome. And let us all remain standing as we all jointly join in the anthems of the two great nations of India and the United Arab Emirates.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.